family posing for a photo. Kids are smiling, the mothers are happy, completely oblivious to the horror that lives in their own home. Welcome to the Paranormal Post. I'm Clayton Morris. If you love true stories of the unexplained, then smash that like button. It really helps us. And please subscribe to the channel. And there's one more step that you can do, and that's to turn on that little notification bell so you'll receive a notification when we publish a brand new video. What a magical thing a camera is, right? With a click of a button, you can lock a memory into your family's history that you wish you could save forever, in a celluloid sheet. People are now even building careers using their cameras to capture magical scenes around the world or other people. But like everything that starts with good intentions, cameras have witnessed indescribable actions, from accidents to psychotic behaviors to natural disasters. But not every picture can have a clear explanation. Some are just weird enough to remain unfathomable for decades. But thanks to the internet, those pictures are shared with people all over the world that are seeking a mind-boggling time to try to figure them out. In this video, you're going to see 15 of the scariest photos that will never be explained. And we start with number 15, the time-traveling hipster. Now, this picture was taken in 1941 in the reopening ceremony for the South Fork Bridge in Colombia. But the elephant in the picture is a man who is standing among the crowd wearing sports glasses, a printed t-shirt, a sweatshirt, and holding what appears to be a digital camera. A complete normal scene in 2020 or 2021. But again, this photo was taken in 1941. Everyone in this picture seems to be suited up. And the one man on the left is operating an old camera that was actually used at the time. But let's look closely at this picture. Do you see it? No one seems to care. You would think that a modern man in the 1940s would stick out like a sore thumb. But it's clear that no one was even bothered by his existence. Experts have confirmed that the picture has not been tampered with. So could this really be proof of a time traveler? Or is it just a scene from an unreleased movie? You decide. Number 14, life on Mars. This picture was taken by Curiosity, the rover sent to Mars by NASA. Now the picture clearly shows a light being emitted from a distance. I would like to remind you that Mars is not habitated. And for a light to be this visible from this distance, it must have been huge. It's not like astronauts go on camping trips there. They may have forgotten the wood fire and they just went out into the woods. It doesn't exist. So this picture has everyone, including NASA, dumbfounded. Instead of providing answers about the presence of aliens, this picture actually raised more questions. What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments below. Number 13, the Black Knight. This is an unidentified satellite discovered many years ago and given the name the Black Knight. It orbits the Earth, among other satellites. The only problem is, no one knows where it came from. No one on Earth claims to be responsible for it, nor does anyone know what its purpose is. But one thing for sure, it's working. And it's actually signaling someone somewhere that can't be tracked down. Many believe that the Black Knight is alien technology to observe Earth and us humans. But how can a satellite be launched into the atmosphere and no authority on Earth noticing it? They'd have to have a rocket going up. After all, rockets from SpaceX and others are scheduled on a regular basis, and people crowd around and grab their cameras. How was this launched into the atmosphere and no one knows where it came from? Number 12, the healer. After having her gallbladder removed, Mrs. Diane Berthott went with her husband and son to the Worstead Village Church in Norfolk to pray for a full recovery. Her husband and son were walking around the church taking pictures of the church when Mr. Berthott decided to take a picture of his praying wife. Now behind her, you can clearly see a figure of someone in white and a bonnet. The family swore they were alone in the church that day. After returning to talk to the vicar, he told her that there has been a folklore tale of a woman in a white bonnet who is said to have a healing touch. Now, whether or not this is true or not, I'll let you be the judge of that. What do you think? Drop me a line in the comments below. Number 11, Reunited with the Dead. This picture seems like a perfectly normal picture of an old lady in the backyard with a man standing behind her, but no one is afraid, so nothing to worry about, right? Wrong. At the time when this picture was taken, this woman was a widow of 13 years, and she was taking a picture alone. But in the background, her husband is clearly seen standing there proudly. The family of the woman confirmed that it definitely resembles her deceased husband, and they think that he is there to protect her. What do you think? Number 10, Kraken, already released. In 1964 in Queensland, Australia, French photographer by the name of Robert Sarek took this picture. Now in it you can see a huge sea serpent swimming in shallow waters. Now I know Australia has had their fair share of oversized animals and insects, but I had no idea it included their sea borders as well. So this creature is estimated to measure at a total of 80 feet. Props to the photographer who could actually take this picture without fleeing for his life and screaming, I know I would. And there's no real explanation what this thing is, or how this creature got to this shallow area of the beach. Nor is there any explanation to what it actually is. What do you think it is? Number 9, UFO. This picture is astonishing. It was published in the Los Angeles newspaper during the 1940s, and it appears to depict a set of searchlights, all focusing on the objects in the sky. The object seems to be lit to the point where you can actually see what it is, but you can't make up the outline of this classic UFO. Now, ever since this picture was released to the public, people seem to have conflicting opinions about it. Some say the outline of the UFO seems too cartoonish, and you can't expect alien masterminds to be so predictable. Others say that this is a clear and open shut case. An unidentified object was floating around and authorities went to investigate. While no one can say for sure that aliens exist or not, this picture served as the perfect fuel to that fire over Los Angeles. Number 8, the mummy's finger. Now, if we remove the banknote, we would think, hey, this is just some normal finger that's been cut off. But not so much. If you look again, this is no regular finger. This finger was allegedly discovered by a gravedigger in 1985, and it measures in at a whopping 15 inches long. Yes, this one digit is 15 inches long, which elicits what the body belonged to. It would be at least 12 feet tall. People have always deduced the presence of giants, giant people that were probably extinct. But how else were the pyramids built? Could this be one concrete piece of proof that there were giants among us? This picture has definitely added to the mystery, and there have been multiple books written on giants buried deep inside the ground. By the way, if you would like to see a full video in the history of giants on Earth, drop me a line below and say, yes, Clayton, I would love to see that, and I will do it. Number 7, the Solway Firth Spaceman. Hard to say 5 times fast. Solway Firth Spaceman. This picture was named the Solway Firth Spaceman because it was taken in Solway, Firth, Cumbria, England. Now in the photo you see a little girl smiling for the camera, and behind her seems to be a man wearing a classic spacesuit. The photographer, which is also the little girl's father, swears they were alone, and there was no one behind the girl. The photo was taken in 1964, has only added to this mystery. Could this be a time-traveling spaceman stuck in a black hole somewhere, manifesting in a photo? Or could this be a ghost or an apparition of a spaceman in an odd sense of fashion? Very bizarre. What do you think it is? Number 6, the lady in the lighthouse. Much like clowns, lighthouses have an unsettling feeling to those that approach them. I learned recently, actually, that I had a great-great-grandfather who was a lighthouse keeper at the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse in North Carolina. And I can only wonder what he would have seen in that scary lighthouse every night after night. This picture combines all the elements of spooky into one picture. You've got a lighthouse, check. There's a storm, check. And there's a ghost lady in white, check. This picture has puzzled so many people, especially the ones who swear they can see a lady with long hair dressed in white at the top of it. And who's to say they're wrong? However, because no one knows who she is or why she's there, many believe her to be a ghost haunting this lighthouse. And time again, there have been reports of people plummeting to their death, wanting to commit suicide from the bridge of a lighthouse. Number 5, aliens in the Bible. The Madonna and Saint Giovannino is a 15th century painting. And you can see a man in the background, probably a shepherd, along with his dog looking up at a glowing disc in the sky. Many believe that it is a UFO, and others think it's just a bird. But why would a man and his dog look so astonished while seeing a bird? The fact is, this was centuries ago. Makes this painting even more creepy. If you ever want to see this painting in real life, you can find it at the Palazzo Vecchio in Florence, Italy. Number 4, the Falling Man. What a lovely family, posing happily for a picture, happily completely oblivious to the man who is apparently dangling from the rafters above. Now you can see a man hanging from the ceiling by his torso. There's no real explanation to this image, And some suggest that this is the spirit of the previous homeowner. Others think that this is a joke, where someone posed like that to take a creepy picture. It may also be a distortion in the camera. What do you think it is? Is this evidence of the existence of ghosts, or is it simply a Halloween trick? Number 3, the Royal Ghost. I love this photo. In 2003, this photo of a ghost apparently opening the back doors of the Hampton Court Palace. Look at this. One day when the security guards were having a peaceful time in the security room, they saw this mysterious man opening the back door. When it's a location like the Hampton Court Palace, visitors are not allowed just to wander around the palace. So you can imagine the guards' surprise. The fact, of course, has baffled everyone working on the premise, but till this day, no one has ever come forward to admit that it was them. But let's look closely to this picture. Can you see something weird? What is the man wearing? Despite the blurry CCTV footage, you can just make out what the man's silhouette looks like. He looks like he's wearing medieval clothes and shoes with long hair that curls at the end. This can't be spookier, can it? Could this be the ghost of King Henry VIII? Some believe that that's the case. Number 2, pyramids on the moon. One of the biggest conspiracies ever is the one that elaborates that the pyramids were built by aliens. How else would human beings get those huge building blocks in that meticulous design? Well, in fact, Elon Musk of Tesla recently talked about how aliens must have built the pyramids. This one picture was definitely the nail in the coffin, because this picture was taken by the Apollo 17 moon landing during the flight to the moon. And while the picture had been too light to see anything because of the overexposure, it was later adjusted. And there you go, a perfectly shaped pyramid on the moon. It looks like it was taken in Cairo, Egypt, right? NASA denies this, saying it's actually a blank photo. But some people believe it's an actual structure that's been caught on camera. And number 1, Slender Man. And boy, would my kids be freaked out at seeing this photo. The woods are scary, as they are day or night, and when there's a little bit of fog, oh, that's when it gets even creepier. So to see a group of friends hanging out and having a good time there is truly absurd. For this one, you have to do a little searching in the background. The group of friends is clearly not alone, because in 2009, the story of Slender Man took the world by storm. And this man in the back eerily looks like him, that same tall, slender figure with longer than normal limbs. No follow-up was provided about this man, and no follow-up was provided by the young men in this picture. But let's just hope that everyone went home safely that day. What do you think is in the background of this photo? So if you like this video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, so you never miss one of our videos, and share it with all of your mystery-loving friends. And let me know in the comments which picture of these spooked you the most. Drop me a line. We'll see you next time, everyone.